The Democrats running for governor say their party hasn't done enough to make Colorado an affordable place to live. Thanks for joining us. I'm Kim Christensen.
And I'm Phil Lipoff. Senator Michael Bennet and Attorney General Phil Weiser agreed on that in tonight's 9 News debate. Kyle Clark moderated the debate at the University of Denver. Kyle joins us now. Kyle, some sharp disagreements tonight, though not on that crucial issue.
Phil, Senator Michael Bennet and Attorney General Phil Weiser disagreed on who has the better tactics to take on the Trump administration, and they disagreed over who has the more detailed plans to be governor, but they agreed that their Democratic Party, in total control of Colorado for years, has been losing touch with working class voters and with young people, in large part because of Colorado's affordability crisis.
My answer is we need new leadership in Colorado. My answer is this is completely unacceptable. When I used to be the superintendent of schools, I had faculty meetings every day in schools near the one we're in today, and I never met a teacher who didn't live in Colorado or who didn't live in Denver. And now you can't live in Denver if you're a teacher. And if you live on the western slope of Colorado in the Roaring Fork Valley, the only way a teacher can afford to live there is if they win the housing lottery that their school district is running. So until we address this issue of people working hard and not being able to have the American dream for their kids, I think we're going to continue to see the rise of Trumpism in America. And that's what we have to fight.
If you're a firefighter or a police officer, it's important that you can afford to live in your community. That's what people deserve. That's not the case right now. What I will do is build a plan so that we can have starter homes that are affordable by incentivizing the types of homes we need. Right now, if you build a mega mansion or a starter home, the permitting fee is the same. The time to get the permit's the same. We need to change that. We need to make sure we're incentivizing townhomes, more density, condominiums, and we need to make sure we have down payment assistance so those teachers and those firefighters, nurses can afford to buy those homes.
Bennet and Weiser disagreed strongly over the tactics that each has taken against the Trump administration. Weiser says that Senator Bennet voted to support too many Trump cabinet picks, people that Weiser says have gone on to hurt Colorado by pulling SNAP food benefits and clean energy funding. Senator Bennet said the easy thing to do is to vote against Trump cabinet picks. The tougher, more worthwhile thing to do, in his opinion, is to build relationships with them so that Colorado is able to get things like firefighting resources. Bennet criticized Weiser over the particular legal battles that he is choosing against the president. My colleague Marshall Zellinger will get into that in more depth at 9:30.
Hey, Kyle, before you go, one of the questions that we all thought was pretty fascinating tonight, there's a lot of talk about Donald Trump and how to fight Donald Trump from here in Colorado, but you asked the question, what problems here in Colorado are we not able to blame on President Trump?
Yeah, and you know, Senator Bennet did not appreciate my characterization of their race as one to be the most anti-Trump candidate. He didn't like that. He said that when he's out talking to people in Colorado, they're a lot more interested in talking about things like housing and affordability and the economy and the cost of living than they are talking about things that President Trump is doing. And Attorney General Phil Weiser went through a laundry list of things that he feels that he's led the charge on, like the fentanyl epidemic that is impacting Colorado and other states. And he said that's not Donald Trump's fault, and we just need to deal with that. It was interesting, that line, when I asked them what isn't Donald Trump's fault, got kind of a big reaction from the crowd in the room that were kind of amused by that, or at least wanted to hear the candidates talk about it, and they leaned into it pretty hard.
Yeah, well, that's certainly what voters are saying. Voters have been telling all of you is like, okay, let's stop talking about the president. Let's talk about what you're doing for me.
Yeah, and again, we're talking about two Democratic politicians, right, who agree on a whole lot of things, right? But the things that they disagreed about were on display tonight in the debate in terms of what exactly is the right tack to take against Trump, who has the more detailed plans if they're governor. But you have to remember, right, these are two folks who are kind of in the center-left of their party, right? It's not a really wide ideological split between the two of them. So a lot of the disagreements were around the edges.
All right, Kyle, once again, a substantive debate tonight. Not as colorful as the Republican one,
no,
but
interesting, very interesting. Yeah, very engaging.
All right, Kyle, thanks.